Today I'm going to talk about functions and features of a piece of software. So we'll look at particular functions, and for each of those functions look at how that can be implemented, which is really looking at the functionality and the features. A function is really what a program does. So an example is you have a registration page. That is a function of it. How that is then implemented is really looking at the features that's going to be included and the functionality of how that's implemented. And that can be broken up into things including the screen design, verification, validation, and some of the problem-specific tasks that the program does. So for screen design, what you're looking at is you can do things like drop-down menus, default values, masking of values, so you force people to enter in a particular way, or even using images. Verification is checking that the data is actually being entered incorrectly. So the best example is where you double enter the password and checking that both of them have been entered correctly. Validation is checking that data actually is within correct range, or that's not blank, or that you stop things such as code injection. So you expect data to be in a certain format or certain values. Then you look at some of the problem-specific ones, you're looking at things like security, confirmation of details, say through emails, or dealing with calculations or help, or how you actually physically interact with that function, such as only displaying 20 items per page. An example of functionality is we're going to look at Twitter and how you register for a new Twitter account. So here is our sign-in page. We have a login and then we have a registration page. So if I enter in some registration details, and then I can sign up. Once you enter your details for the sign-in, you get into this page, which provides you some details about the functionality of the program. And it includes the name. Is that a name appropriate? And they're saying it looks okay. Here it gives you feedback about the email, so it's actually validating that the email address is correct, and what you probably need now is a .com. And if you enter that in now, it should validate, and it does, and says it's correct. Here I only entered in 4 characters. If I entered in another 2 characters, you'll see that it now says it can be more secure. If I add some characters or numbers, I add a number, or I add a character, you'll say it's a good password. And lastly, it checks to see whether the name I've set up for my Twitter account is available. And if it's not, it will change it to the next available one. So there's some examples of the functionality and the features being implemented for a registration function. Your task now is to go and look at a case study in regards to how a registration function is implemented on 2 websites. So what you need to do is identify 2 websites, take a screenshot of how you actually register for that page, and I want you to try and identify all the features that have been implemented for that registration page. Some of the features of the registration page that you may not see, so there may not be something the user interacts with. So maybe what you can try and do is identify what ones are underneath the code that have actually been implemented. You need to write that up in the Word document and submit them through Edmodo. Thank you. Enjoy.